Well, if the mic isn't plugged in, it's probably not going to work, right? Ah! Okay. Once I get my echo gone, we'll be good to go. Bruh. I don't want to hear myself repeat myself. All right. Okay. Actually got some pretty cool stuff going on. So I have a brand new species, brand new to me. Well, actually, mostly brand new to everyone. This guy just started selling them. I haven't opened the bag. They look fantastic. They're huge. They look way bigger than mine. Way bigger than mine. Pause. And we're gonna look at those. Gonna chat about some other related or unrelated fish things. And I got an isopod cam, a isopod camera here. It's all out of focus right now, but we'll get it in focus. That'll pop up. So it should be pretty fun. So a little bit of background, right? Because I like to give context to these things. If you've been looking for the aquatic isopods in the past, you probably came across some posts on Reddit from like 4 years ago. You might have seen like a black morph of them, and then you might have gone and investigated this guy and found that he totally vanished, like for 4 years, nowhere to be seen, just gone. Luckily for us, though, this guy is back, and he's back. Conrad's Fish is the name, and right here is one of the bags of isopods that he sells. He actually has them identified to the genre, however you say it, I believe. And I have 2 bags because he sent me the black morph of the isopods. I pretty much screamed when I did scream when I saw that he added those in. And I'm pretty excited to see what the black morphs look like. So I'm gonna turn on the isopod cam here, okay? And this is actually this camera, and basically I have to focus it manually, and it's a macro lens, okay? So turn this light on here. Let's just get a bag preview, okay? Just so you can kind of get how it was like receiving them. So first of all, trying to find the isopods in a bag is already bad enough. Trying to find them on a camera on a live stream is probably even worse. But we're gonna see the through the bag experience, so you get the full experience. So you see some shapes moving around. You see, look at those antennae, bro. He's got some nice plants. That looks like an Acarus in there. And they did come double bagged. Well, let's go ahead and let's open this bag, right? We've teased it enough. I'm gonna open the bag, pour them out, and we're gonna get a good look at them. So, again, this is Licerus, Conrad's Fish, and I'm gonna get a container that is right hanging over there. I'm gonna pour them in. I'm going to throw a light over top, and we're gonna see, is this the black morph or is this the normal morph? And I just want to say that, again, these guys are huge. I cannot emphasize enough how ginormous that these isopods are. But all right, I didn't actually press the button that enabled the isopod cams. I don't think anyone even saw the bag experience, but here we go. Container. My microphone isn't heavy enough to keep this down. They never want to all come out of the bag. Oh my god. They're just massive. Absolutely massive. Okay. I think you guys see any? Yep, there's still some in there. I'm gonna pour some water back in. My gosh. You know, it's bad enough doing this kind of thing by yourself. Trying to do it live, like in front of a webcam. Not ideal. I got one last guy in there. Bruh. The people want to see. One last guy. To the promised land. I swear to God. There's always got to be one. Usually they're like pretty slippery, slidey. But this guy, he's just like, I'm not going to go. I want to hold up the whole experience. All right. So let's go ahead. And I'm going to engage the isopod cam. We're going to engage this. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because we want to see the isopods. Here goes the light. And let me pull up the chat so I can actually see. And let's take a look. Brand new to me isopod species. Conrad's fish is looking like not the black morph. So here we go. And we're focusing the camera. 1 second, I've got to open up my screen. And there we go. Check these guys out. So I don't know if you can. I think you can. I think you can tell how big these guys are. Like, look at that dude over there. Absolutely massive. Definitely like over an inch. And look at those claws. Actually, bro, I'm about to make this. I'm about to make this full screen. I'm about to make this full screen so you can see. And then I'll just go ahead and put myself being really small in the corner. And we can see that we've got a bunch of these guys in here. Just gonna adjust some camera settings. You can see they came in great condition. And again, absolutely massive. So I'm gonna go even closer because that's the whole point of using a macro lens. And let's really see if we can see what's up with these guys. Look at that little crazy little red worm there. They're pretty much like tanks almost. I have to do a side-by-side comparison with mine, but I feel like even without a size reference, you can tell that they're absolutely massive. So that is bag number 1. We'll switch it back. I'm gonna check out the next bag. Okay, so these look like the normal coloring of them. And I'm gonna attach this light to here. And that should help this stay down. Okay, let's take a look at the black morph of the isopods. And I'm gonna get another container. So, cool thing about these guys is that, and brilliant. I'm actually going to move the magic feed. Let's just push Corey's face to the side there. I'm gonna put the first container there. You guys can see them crawling around. And the cool thing about these is that this guy, he originally collected them, I think, like 4 or 5 years ago. I forget which one he said. And that means a couple things. One, it means that we can for sure say it's a native, American isopod. It's not a Stelis aquaticus. besides the fact it's just obvious from how they look. But the other thing is, you know, he's had them for a while, and he's bred a few different color variants of them. So, in theory, I think this bag is what is supposed to be the black variant. And it looks like he put a very cool plant in there for me. I'm not sure if that's some kind of Java fern or something. I'm not the best. And my favorite thing is, like, even though these isopods are significantly big, it's still impossible to see them in the back. People always like, I can't see them. Are you sure they're in there? I'm like, yes, trust me, they're in there. Okay, so we got 2 bags. The other one I had already opened because I was impatient. Maybe it'll be easier to see. Yeah, I'm getting water on my hands because they're tied, you know? I know it's old school, but I just love a heat sealed bag. I don't know what to say. Okay. There's something that you can't see, but so much water just came out. My entire pants are soaked. Okay, so we get a little bit better of a view of them. And I don't want to trip water on all the electronics I have here. You know, live streaming and water aren't necessarily something that I thought would go together, but we're trying. All right, pouring them in the cup. Oh yeah, these guys do look a little darker. Pour some water in here. And last one out. Oh my gosh, they're so big I could actually feel them slide out of the bag. That's so crazy. Okay. Let's turn the light on and let's engage the isopod camera again. And to do that, I do this, and I hit this button, and here we go. So this is a black morph of the Licerus isopods that he collected, and you know, I just opened them. They've been in the bag for a bit, so I'm sure they're settling in. But you can see that they definitely are. Yep. Wow. Look at that. I'm going to try and get closer without knocking everything over. 1 second. I should have just put my headlamp on. That would have really solved a lot of issues. Bruh. I'm sorry. I just kind of lost my speech for a second. Let's get in a little closer. Wow. Look at that color. Got a little bit of reflection, but you can see they really are super dark body with the white legs. And you see there's a little bit of variation. I see this one is like, it's dark, but it's a little bit more brownish red on the outsides. Man. Come out from under the leaf. Okay, I'm gonna go try and get in a little closer. A little closer. Focus it. Yeah. So again, just for size reference, I'm gonna back up a little bit so you can see. Woo. They are quite massive. So I'm going to set up a 5-gallon for one of them and a 10-gallon for the other. And we'll see how they do. I mean, I feel like they're almost 2 inches big. Like, this is ridiculous. Okay. Coming back to me. All right. This is fun. It's a nice little, like, you know, trying some technology stuff out, try and get the camera in. So, if you're looking for freshwater aquatic isopods and you're in the US, These guys are on eBay. The guy's name's Conrad's Fish. And not only is it right now the best value, they look dope. That's what I'm saying, bro. Wait, let me get these guys. Let me get them both up here, and I'll pull up the guy's page. But just so you can see on the webcam camera. Oh my god, a giant drop of water just fell on my keyboard. I like watch that happen in slow motion. Yo, what's up, Jorge? How's it going? Need these for my neopod colony. I've got terrestrial pods, little ducky, so aquatic ones would be awesome. Yeah, I'd love to get like those amphibious isopods, or just isopods that like won't drown. And do like a part water, part land tank, and have aquatic and land isopods in the same enclosure would be amazing. But you can see these guys are quite large. And in fact, let's go ahead and do a size comparison between his isopods and my isopods, okay? And insert a size isn't everything joke here, but I still like my isopods. I'm not abandoning them just because they're a little bit smaller than another man's. Or actually, I guess Conrad could be a woman. You never know. Okay, I am putting the cam up there. We got it. And now let's do a little comparison. What's the eBay name again? All right, fine. Let me not do the comparison. Let me make sure I properly plug what this guy's got going on. Okay. So I'm gonna go to eBay. His name is Conrad's Fish, but I do think that his eBay name is like the username's different. You know, eBay search is like horrendous. So it's kind of hard to yeah, just search this and then actually have people search it. I gotta go to my purchase history. Luckily, my purchase history on eBay isn't too depressing. I don't buy too much on eBay, so I can look through this guilt-free. All right, and you better hurry because it's saying they're in 22 carts right now. Okay, I'm just saying they're in 22 carts. I'm pulling it up on the screen. Give me one moment. You know, I like to prepare for things, but really, sometimes it's fun just to make it up as you go along, right? Okay, so we got a screen capture, window capture, and then I want to capture Google Chrome on eBay. We got an incognito tab, and then I'm gonna copy this link. All right, so this is the page, and this is bam, the page. Oh my god. And the name is Conrad's Fish. You get 20 of them for $20. I think shipping is calculated, so that's going to really depend on where you're at. But I think it is the best isopod deal right now. And I sell isopods, so I sell them in my tanks on eBay also. And I'm saying he's got the best deal. And that's why in like a week, he sold 40 of them and 23 in cart. So get on that. But I assume he's been stockpiling them for a while, so I'm sure he has plenty. So I wouldn't worry about that. But that's what I got here. I don't think he has the black ones listed, but I mean they are very cool looking and definitely distinct. And I'm very excited to get them in a proper tank, but I don't think you're gonna like miss out because I want the black ones. But yeah, these guys here. And then we're gonna take a look real quick at my isopods and kind of see how the size compares. All right. So isopod cam engaged. Boom. And we're going to point the camera, and conveniently, I have my isopod tank right here. adjust the settings real quick. Adjust the settings a little dark. Yes, I got the black ones. Do you miss me showing the black ones? He put it in as an extra gift. I was very excited. So this is my isopod tank, and you can see it also is dual purpose as a neo tank. And check it out, right here, we've got one of my isopods, 2 of them. And I would guess that these are females, and they're not quite full size, I would say. Like, that one is maybe like, do you keep the isopods with the shrimp? Okay, well, I just answered that question. So I would say that, yeah, this one right here is about 75% full size. Okay. And I'm trying to see if I see a bigger one from this angle, so I don't have to get up. But I'm going to just move this container of his isopods down here. Okay. Excuse me, because I wasn't looking at the camera, so it's all out of focus. But again, we have my isopods here, and then we have his isopods in this container. And it's not the perfect way to compare, but like, you see there is a pretty big size difference. I'm going to even like back up more, because again, I have a macro lens on, so I generally have to get close. But you could see on the left, we got his isopods, and they look like monsters, okay? Like, this is for the size kings and queens out there. The Licerus is what you want. And then, this is making me think that mine really might be Cassiodota, because there's no way that, I mean, I guess they're smaller. Anyways, that's besides the point. Yeah, they are tanks. Yes, definitely thick 2Cs. And, bro, why is my phone just... Oh, it's Jorge liking my Instagram post. Okay, my bad. Okay, yeah, these are thick with 2Cs. And let me pull up the black ones for you guys that missed it. But those, I'm like leaking those. Like, if you've looked on Reddit, on the old post on Reddit, or if you go to Conrad's Fish on Instagram, you'll see he posted them. And I don't think he's listed them yet. He was extremely nice and sent me some. I didn't even ask. He could just tell I was that desperate. So I'm putting on the headlamp because the other light was just not working for me. All right. So these are going to be the black ones. Give me a second to adjust my settings. And look at that. I mean, that's all I really gotta say. Now that is a nice looking isopod. And you can see there's like a little variance. You can see like that one is a decent bit darker. But if I get even closer, focus it again, you can see, and I'm going to move the light off my head. They have that black body with the white legs. Like, even without being totally black on all of them, which some of them look like a more reddish brown. You're good, Ori. Like, that one's a little bit more brown than this one over here, which is like darker. And I wonder if that's just, you know, because it's a line he's working on, or all sorts of factors there. But it's the white legs that really get me. Like, this is a very pretty isopod, in my opinion. And you can tell that he put a decent amount of, like, look at that. That's immaculate. Like the black back, like how shrimps get the color combo. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the cool thing. A lot of these species, there is color variation, and there's some papers that I've read about how the isopods can very quickly change phenotypically through generations. So I think we'll see this year a lot more color morphs. And I'll say I'm doing my best to work on one. I'm trying to work on so you see this guy here? See how he's like kind of speckled, right? I'm gonna shine the light on him a bit more. I've got like well, I'm gonna take this little cover off my lens because that's getting in my way. And then I'm gonna put the light up here. Sorry about that. Just trying to get things a little bit more situated. All right, so let me see if I can get him again. But you'll see on the one guy's back like the kind of speckleding. Well, on some of my isopods, the speckles are actually kind of reflective. And if I get closer, you can see, like, these aren't that, they're okay, we got a little bit of shine there. I see it looks like a buse plant I have with small speckles. Yeah. So I'm trying with my isopods to make like a shiny yellow isopod, because there are some that actually have a good amount of yellow on them and it's like sparkly. But yeah, these are the black ones. Damn! Sorry. That looks good. And my headlamp is so hot that I'm actually catching something on fire. That's crazy. Yeah, that black isopod is just absolutely immaculate. And I'm going to pull up the other ones real quick, just for anyone that missed them. This is the black morph. And over here, these guys is the one that he has listed on his eBay. And I don't think they're any lesser than the black. I feel like in the hobby, there's a lot of like new shiny toy syndrome. And I'm not trying to promote that. Like, I would want both of these isopods equally. And the great thing is, just like the shrimp, you can kind of work on your own line. So, right now the color balance on my camera's off. But you can see here, we got I wonder if this is the same species and he bred them out, or if this is a totally different species. 'Cause I can't tell if they look different or if there's just gender differences between the group. Because that's oh my god, like, look how massive that is. Like, I'm sorry, that is, okay, you know what, I'm gonna put a shrimp in here. So we could, like, I just feel like I can't even emphasize enough. Let's get them next to each other real quick. I just feel like I can't emphasize enough how crazy to me how big they are. Like, I have some males that approach the size of one of these, but like, it took a lot of work and he's still not that big. So on the left, we got the ones he's got listed on eBay. And then here, these are the black ones. So you can definitely see that there's a big difference between the two of them in color. And like, some of these, the black really shines. It really comes through. So, it's pretty incredible, man. I'm not gonna lie. The box came in nice, well packed, of course. He had a care sheet card in there. Very communicative. So I can't recommend him enough. Okay, let me set this down. And I think I want to just do the size comparison again. Damn, that isopod is massive. That's what I'm saying. Only had blue dreams, blue galaxies, and scuds. Never seen these until a few months ago. Coming across them from you. Definitely gonna need a few. That'd be dope if you can get a full. Yeah, man. Like I've said, if you're in the U.S., there's a few options. If you check out my last live, I actually did a market breakdown of kind of like where you can buy isopods from right now, which included Conrad. So I don't want to repeat that too much, but just again to emphasize, on the right are the isopods that I have. I'm trying to get the lighting right between the two of them. So yeah, on the right you see some of the isopods, and I don't have my biggest ones there. Like, those look a little bit smaller, but I mean, even so, we turn this around a bit so we can actually see one of... Damn, I dropped the fucking container. 1 second. Oh my god. Never do things live, right? No worries. The isopods are okay. Give me 1 more second to make sure I got them all. You know, it's always got to be something when you're doing it live like this, okay? My God. So, I guess while I'm at it, the ones that I have, they can't really climb out of the water. Doesn't seem to be the case for his. You can see he's climbing on my hand just fine. And that was actually part of the problem of getting them all. So these guys, his back is dragging a little bit. I don't know if you could see. But they can definitely move out of water. So be careful of that. I'm going to turn this so you can kind of see this tank. And I'm going to make sure I got all the isopods that I dropped. And I'm so sorry. I'm going to put these guys up here. Just give me 1 more second. So, okay. Those are the isopods. Conrad's fish again. And I totally threw myself off by literally, I can't believe I just dropped them on stream. I'm going to set up the isopod cam so it's actually in focus. Hey, can you just hold the camera and show people the isopods while I just double check? Okay. These guys can actually move out of the water, so like when I spilled them, they like went everywhere. Oh, Twist said he ordered them. Nice. Hey, now you know they can walk on land? Yeah. Well, it would be nice if they would just stay in one place for me. All right. That's you over there. So you can keep it in focus. Speak to Twist.
Wow. I've got a neat.
Of course, I dropped the black ones.
Dude. They're out on the streets.
I think I got most of them. I think there's like one that I missed.
You know, the parents always said that we shouldn't bring things that can live outside of water. It's them fighting back with their psychic powers. This guy is so interesting. They've got like a more transparent body than the ones we have, I feel like.
Those ones? You think more transparent?
Well, the one I'm looking at, maybe it's just the line that makes it seem that way. They got that nice, really defined line.
Yeah.
Different colored antenna. Yeah, that guy's really big.
I know, they're massive.
He gave you a good variety.
They're way bigger than the ones that we have. I gotta ask them if they're the same one.
This guy's antenna are particularly shiny.
Okay, so the problem is one of them crawled underneath this.
Well, he might just be dead.
No, I'm gonna save him.
Dude, why did you not get a tripod for this?
I don't know. All right, can you just look over? It's under here. It's this troubleshoot. All right. Yeah. Troubleshoot, because I wanna keep things going. All right, twist. You ordered them. They're dope. Hey, now you know they work online. No, I saw that. Yeah. They crawl through the front.
To the front?
Yeah. And let me again share the link to this guy's eBay. Dude. So, that's what we were just looking at. Pretty cool. Great value. Huge isopods. I recommend very much Conrad's fish. And again, he's the OG of the isopod agenda. I want to say that the isopod agenda is going very strong. Not only have, I want to say there's been like 3 new sellers of them in the last few months. The OG came back. He's got the biggest isopods that I've seen by far. I don't think I know people who have ordered from Phillips Fish Works who has some. His are definitely different than mine. I don't know which ones they are, but they're different. Gardner Veeder has the same ones I have. Carolina Biological, they catch theirs from the wild. Sorry. They catch theirs from the wild. So it's kind of random what theirs are. And then, yeah, I mean, there's one other guy on eBay. I don't know which ones he has. Nothing similar for saltwater. There are saltwater isopods. I'm not too familiar with them. Some of them are parasitic. Some of them are massive. There's scuds they're saltwater scuds. So I'm sure there's something like that for saltwater, but not necessarily has been. Maybe you can flood them. Yeah. Okay. So any other questions about these guys? I was thinking about setting up a tank for them live. Now, how my live performance has been so far on the technical and slaughtering animals front has been, that sounds more dangerous than I initially thought, but I could potentially do that. I do want to hit some of these other topics, but if you missed seeing the isopods, just go back a little bit. If you're curious, if you want to hear a list of every single person that sells isopods and their price comparisons, I did that on my live stream yesterday. And I did add some time codes, I think, to the description of that VOD. So you don't have to go searching through the entire thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty stoked. I've been trying to get these guys isopods for literally years. And now to be holding them is pretty crazy. So I do have to set up those tanks soon. So let me just get through the rest of what I wanted to talk about. Anyone else have any questions about this before I move on? In my room. But did you get any?
So right now I've got an algae wafer.
Okay.
I'm gonna bait him.
Okay. You could try flushing out, I think. These guys can climb out of water so much better than mine. It was kind of crazy to have him walking on my hand. That was a crazy moment. So let's see, what else did I get here? Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about Magic Feed. Whew. So I don't know if anyone here has tried the Aquarium Co-Op Magic Feed yet. I know it's kind of been like one of the it's so funny to say like a food is exciting, but it's been like one of the more exciting foods going on right now in the fish world. And I have it. I've been feeding it for a bit. I bought 2 containers. And I have thoughts about it. So if you're not familiar, they put out this food, and kind of the selling point with it is that it's super small. Okay. So very powdery, very fine. It smells great, honestly. And I know we did that intentionally. Like I do want to feed it more because it smells good. Where do you buy them from? The isopods, you can buy them from Conrad's Fish. You can buy them from me and mytanks.com. You can buy them from Phillips Fishworks. You can buy them from Garden of Eater. You can buy them from another guy who's I can't pronounce Clamenton on eBay. And yeah, in my VOD from yesterday's stream, I did a full breakdown of everywhere you can buy them from, if you want to go check that out. But so the thing with this food, right, is, you know, Aquarium Co-op, it's like community fish focused. You know, it's all about basically, you know, small friendly fish and user friendly experiences, right? So the idea with this is what makes it magic, okay, because it's the magic nano feed, is that when you put it in the water, it stays in the water column. And the line that they've been saying is it's like brine shrimp. It's like baby brine shrimp, how it stays in the water column, because it floats, but then sinks, but then comes back up again. And you know, what has been said by advocates of this food is that, you know, it mimics baby brine shrimp and how it stays in the water column, and then its nutrition is supposed to be all right, and it's small, so, you know, things can eat it. And there's a couple things about that I find a little bit interesting. And my first note is, it smells so good. Like, that's my first impression. The design of the smell of this is so nefarious, because even when I have already fed it like more than one day in a row, which I wouldn't recommend, and I'll tell you why, I still want to feed it more, because to me it smells good. It's like I think one friend said it smelled like a seafood boil. Like it doesn't smell like just like cat food. You know, you open the bag and it's like, oh, this is some pet food. So it smells good. That's the first thing that I noticed, and the first positive thing I'll say. The first kind of, this isn't even a critique, just like I legitimately laughed when I saw it, was this little addition. This Corey seal of approval. And it's got his face in there, which, you know, my favorite fish tuber is Fishtory, and I thought it was funny that he laughed at the same thing, because I just thought it was kind of funny because it's not on any of their previous foods, and they still sell other of their foods that don't have the Corey seal of approval. I just think the mascotting of Corey, like himself mascotting himself on here, is just like kind of funny. Like, I don't know why it like stood out so much to me, but I was kind of like, man, I guess I feel bad for I mean, let's go to Aquarium Co-Op's website real quick. Aquarium Co-Op. It's like, look at all these foods that now don't have the seal of approval. So we got the Magic Small Fish Feed, the Easy Community Floating Pellets, right? And then we go to food, and it's like, well, where's the seal of approval? Does Corey not approve? I'm a nitpicker. I'm the ultimate hater, basically. But that was kind of funny. The other thing that I noticed about it is, well, the whole point of it, it's super fine, it's super small. So when you put this in your tank, the shit goes everywhere. Like truly, all over the place. Like the positive is, oh, it stays in the water column. But the other side of that is like, okay, it does legitimately get every single place in your tank. So if you don't, he said twisted, just like a brine shrimp, LFAO. Yeah, I'm a little bit like on the brine, just like brine shrimp claim. I'm just gonna go out there and say, and I'm gonna give Corey his credit. And again, I actually am someone who just enjoys nitpicking, so don't take the criticisms too seriously. I'll say that Corey is one of the few people in the hobby right now that try to actually improve how things are. Like, he understands user experience and like even the way he sets up his fish room on timers. It's like there's a certain level of nice that comes when something just works and it's easy to use and you don't have to think about it. And he's one of the few people that like really try to do that in the fish hobby, and I appreciate that. But to give him his credit, whenever it's been said like, oh, it's like baby brine shrimp, there's always been the caveat like, I'm not gonna say it's totally gonna take baby brine shrimp. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this does not replace baby brine shrimp. Okay, for a couple of reasons. Don't even need to talk about nutrition because I'm not a nutritionist, so I'm not even going to get into that. Just on the function. So one way that it's not like brine, and can you point the camera at it? So let's get a magic feed cam up here. If I can remember how to use my own technology. Okay. Yeah, here's the light. And here's a couple of reasons why it's not going to replace brine shrimp. And I'll put it up here. Number one is quantity control.
Overheated.
Okay, it overheated. That's fine. So quantity control. This stuff is so small. It doesn't look like much, but it goes everywhere. And because it's small, it could like technically not be a lot, but you still get little bits of pieces in different places, and it kind of gets to the point where, say you're raising fry, and it's one kind of fry in there, right? Well, if it's not a fish that goes in every part of the water column, then there's just gonna be little bits of food all over the place that is, stuck. And then that goes, okay, we have shrimp and snails in there to eat it. But another function of that is algae, okay? This stuff algae loves this stuff. And I tested it when I got it. I fed it to a few tanks, like at least once a day. Maybe I skip a day here, but like I fed it to the tanks regularly. And these are tanks that have been running for, one of them is like a year and a half, and the other one I think is a year. So I have a good kind of like baseline for how these tanks respond to food. It's not like a tank I just set up and it's like, oh, it turns like, I'm not going to spoil it. Let me show you what happened to the tanks when I fed the magic feed every single day. So I'm dragging in a photo here. And this is on a 40-gallon breeder. And it's a community tank. It's got a lot going on. Okay, so I'm going to come out of studio mode. And let's read this over here. So I got it zoomed in so you can kind of see. Do the isopods need a water temperature? So the isopods do need a water temperature. They do need a water temperature. The specific temperature range technically depends on the species, but in general, like, they're very flexible, and a safe range, let's say 68 to 78 degrees, right? But realistically, like the ones I keep are outside year long. I know people that do them in ponds, and they can be in water like in the 40s and be fine. All right. So behind this mass of algae is a sponge filter. And this hair algae, and again, well, not again, I haven't said this, but I don't actually care about, I like hair algae because, fry hide in it, things lay eggs in it. So I'm fine with hair algae, but I understand a lot of people really do not like having a lot of algae. But I fed this stuff regularly for a few days, and like within a few days, this mass of hair algae grew very impressively. And what happens is that, it's this powder, and, the benefit is that, right, it's in the water column all over the place, everyone gets a chance. But then the downside is that the plants and the algae also get a chance. So you'll notice the algae is here right where my sponge filter is, because the magic feed is going into the sponge filter, and kind of like continuously going through. And then as the algae grows, it just gets caught in the hair algae. And I have, let me zoom out. I have all sorts of things in this tank, like, to eat it. It's not like a situation where I don't have something that likes every section of the tank. You see, I got super reds. I got these Procatopus lampi killifish in here. I got a hill stream breeding colony in there. I got quite a few hill streams. I got magenta mystery snails. All sorts of stuff, that you would imagine would eat the powder, the magic powder. And they do like it. But not quite as much as the hair algae likes it. So that was the third thing that I noticed about the magic feed is, you gotta be careful continuously feeding it, because depending on what your setup is, you may create an algae monster. And I will say that this photo I actually took after I had gotten rid of, manually removed some of it. And because it's dark, you can't even tell, like in this corner that I kind of pushed back there, it's an even bigger mass of hair algae. And so that was a 40-gallon breeder, kind of a big tank. I'm sending myself a photo real quick so I can show what happened in a 10-gallon tank that I had, that I did the same experiment with. So I first started, and again, if you came for the isopods, we went through that, but feel free to ask me any questions about them, or go through. I'll happily pull them up again. I still got them. In fact, I'll set one of the containers with them in it there, so you can kind of see them scurry around. I need to get them in a tank. But okay, 10 gallons. So I did the experiment with the magic feed, feeding it regularly on the 40-gallon breeder. And again, these are tanks that I've had set up a while, so it's something that I can predict the behavior of, right? Then I did it on an equally kind of longer running 10-gallon. And this is kind of how things went. And this is within like a 5 to 7 day period. And here's a caveat for myself. Yes. Is this user error in some ways? Yes. I probably put way too much in, and I'm not the best with food control, so I just want to get that out there. Like, yes, this is user error. I probably overfed, but my point is that this small amount, when you put it in water, looks like you dumped like the truck in. It's so fine, it's so concentrated and condensed together. You gotta be careful feeding this, because in my experience it's easy to overdo. And I have some other fish keeper friends that kind of had similar experience. So that's the other thing that I noticed is just, you're trying to make some green water, maybe this is the natural fertilizer for you. Now, on the positive side, does it replace brine shrimp? No. Is it a small food that things will happily eat? Yes. So it is a good food, and I would buy it. But I actually agree with Corey that the community pellets are going to be the better option for the majority of people. Okay, and this is why. Well, one, if you go to Corey's live streams, he talks about the recipes. He says these formulas are very similar. Okay, so nutritionally, pretty similar. At the same time, although this one, it's not a magic community feed. It's just a normal community feed. It's still really small. Like, that is still a very small food. So, small fish can eat it, and mid-sized, community fish will also eat it. Same ingredients. It floats on the top for a little bit. Some of it sinks instantly, but a good amount of it floats on the top and then sinks after a while. And it's going to be a lot easier to do portion control. Now, Aquarium Co-Op, they do a lot of things that are like, I want to say not for beginner fish keepers, but like, they're not trying to set you up with like a CO2 highlight, $5,000 aquarium setup. It's for more the average person. And I think the average person, like, there's not a lot of utility for this for you. Like, most people don't have a fish so small that it can only eat this. And I know they've said like maybe some pickier fish like it. I haven't tested it with everything, so I can't say that, my pea puffers didn't eat it. So for me, it didn't change anything on that front. But it is a very nice food that's easy to feed. It's enjoyable to feed because it smells great. And, if you have a tank with some fry or some multi-sized fish, I have a lot of cribs, so they'll filter in the sand for smaller stuff. So I throw it in there. The small top dwelling fish eat everything. It's great. Just don't feed it too often. Don't feed it all the time. A fry tank, I might throw it in there when I'm too lazy to feed something else. But I just think for most people, this is going to make way more sense, the community pellet. And things seem to like eating it just about as well. So I just wanted to talk about the magic feed because it's a new food. It's crazy popular for a reason. I do think it's great. But just some caveats there, and I want to do more tests on how long it stays in the water column, and also how it behaves staying in the water column depends a lot on your flow setup too. So I think there's some testing to be done there, but overall, it's a food that I think is good, and I think it's a nice one to have, like in your cabinet of variety, because we know variety is king. But I would not feed this every day. I wouldn't call it a staple food. I think this is a bit more practical. All right. So that is magic feed. I answered the thing about the isopods need a temperature. We kind of looked at the isopods. Okay, so we went through the magic feed, went to isopod. If anyone has any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. I'm trying to look at that. But I just wanted, one last thing. I wanted to take a look at kind of what fish are online. One of my favorite things to do is like just look at what the online stands fish and stuff kind of have going on. And I feel like it would be fun to do that together. So, with that being said, let's go head on over to Dan's Fish and see what fish we're going to feed the magic feed. Oh my god, bro. I'm ridiculous. So, ba-bam. Ba-bam. Let's see if there's anything that's standing out to us. What are some good tank mates for isopods? Okay. This is a good thing to bring up here. Well, one, if you're getting Conrad's isopods, I would say the tank mate list has expanded significantly because his are massive. There's very few fish I keep that are even big enough to eat these isopods, honestly, because I keep mostly small community fish. But just some quick ones. Anything with the small mouth, Chili Rasbora, CPDs. Within the last week, started keeping them with the Scarlet Baddis, and the adults, they're bigger than the fish. I mean, small fish with small mouths, anything shrimp safe, basically. Shrimp, snails, clown killifish I've kept with them. What else have I kept with them? the Procatopus, those are lampi killifish. Pencilfish would be great with them, top join, and like Nanostomus, like the pencilfish Latin name, like literally means small mouth. So like, you get the point. So Cory catfish, I haven't really like I've had Cories and isopods in the same tank, and like there was enough isopods. I don't think I'd noticed if they ate any. So I can't really say. I know Cories do eat some stuff similar to isopods, so I can't really say on that as far as that. That's something I need to test more to like really be able to make a recommendation. But as we're kind of like looking at fish, I'll kind of make a point to be like, yeah, this would be a good isopod tank mate. Man, these are so far on the list. Not many isopod tank. Okay, hummingbird tetras. That's a good one. This is a very cool fish. I saw these in person today at London Town Tropicals, actually. And they're very pretty. And they're small, very tiny. I think they get an inch at most. That would be a good one. Pencilfish, yeah. Pretty much any pencilfish would be good for an isopod. Their mouths are just so tiny. It'd be impossible for them to eat any except for like the babies, pretty much. I could see some of like the smaller rainbows being good. I know some people that keep them with guppies. I don't know if I necessarily would, depending on the isopod size. It's really that simple. It's like mouth size plus what does it eat in nature. Because some things like Baddest will absolutely destroy anything that is remotely its size. But other things, they have smaller mouths. They're not really willing to expend the energy to like break something up. Okay. I could see cardinal tetras with the isopods. Plecos, I gotta do more testing on. Loaches, I feel like you should be able to, but like again, sorry, the Hillstream loaches, not just loaches in general, because no. I those kind of stuff I need to test more of. It's all still relatively new, but I feel like the golden eyes I would not do. I've kept them with golden eyes, and I guess I should say I have fed them to golden eyes. Yeah, the apistos, the cribs, like those bottom dweller things that like eat stuff like the isopods and are a little bit bigger, I wouldn't necessarily do. But again, Conrad's isopods are big, so I might change my calculation. It really depends. Empire gudgeons are one that I really want to do. I have bred peacock gudgeons. I think empire gudgeons, they need a saltwater phase, I think, if I remember correctly. There's something that makes them harder. But, I think a cardinal tetra, neon tetra you could do with the isopod, like an adult isopod. The biggest thing is any fish that you're going to put with the isopods, like when you actually put the isopods in, try and like put them as close to the bottom as possible. Like if you can turkey base them in or something, I would do that, because when they can't swim. So when you drop them in the tank, like they just fall slowly, wiggling their legs. Very enticing to a hungry fish. And their positioning when they're there, it makes it easier for them, to go long ways at them. When they're on the ground, they kind of hold onto the ground to keep themselves from being eaten that way. That being said, I've dropped some in killifish, Epiplades forlafi, went to go eat them, and the isopod curled into a ball, so it was too big to be swallowed, and eventually the killifish gave up. So they can be a little tricky. By the way, this guy, I have a friend who got these. These things are huge, and he got them, I think, because guppies are one of their natural prey in the wild. So he got them to eat guppy culls. These things are terrifying. Ooh, these guys, I haven't gotten these ones. I have some smaller curviceps, but I think that things like this like are underrated. Some of these other offbeat cichlids are kind of cool. I've done my mountain cloud white clouds, mountain minnows with the isopods before. That's another one that I've done. Chili raspberry, easy. Do it. I think these smaller rainbow fish probably are fine. Lemon tetras, they've eaten some like smaller shrimp I've seen it, so it might be a little bit more aggressive. But yeah, you kind of getting the point. You're kind of getting the picture. These diamond tetras look so nice. I like really small fish, so I just keep scrolling because I just look at the size. I'm like, is it below 3 inches? No, move on. My God, bro. Oh my God. Let me check out. I don't know if Moonlight Aquatics. I know Fishery. I think he's friends with them. He always talking about them. Let's see, new to old. Let's see what they've got anything kind of interesting in. Bleeding Heart Tetras. I do like these. They got the little heart on them. You know, it's kind of interesting how, like, when you're ordering fish, like, everyone's like, it's cold, I'll order them when it's warm. But, like, apparently, like, the winter time is the most popular time to order fish. Blood Devil Crab. Ooh. Okay. Man, the crabs, they're tempting me more and more every day. I'm not gonna lie. The crabs, the isopods, like, crustaceans. Okay, and these are like, so these aren't the blueberries. It's another like similar or same species snail, the different colors of the orange river snail. That's kind of cool. I've the blueberries. I'm be honest. The blueberry snails are extremely overrated. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. I've seen them in person. They can look cool. Here's the thing. We've seen the mystery snails in the fish stores, okay? The shell health. Most people just can't achieve the level of care required to really make the shell shine like that. But the other thing is these guys, they're not quite as active, in my experience at least, as like the mystery snail. They're a little smaller. They kind of burrow. A lot of them don't really look that great, you know, in person. I think they're very cool. I like them. You know, filter feeders. That's pretty awesome. You can sex them pretty easily, which is nice. I think the male has like a thicker antenna stalk. But definitely overrated. Definitely overrated. That's just my opinion. These are cool, though. The ghost dwarf crabs. I haven't seen these anywhere else. This is something that I would really want to look into. They say that they're shrimp and plant safe and fully aquatic without having to get out of the water. I don't exactly know what else you could possibly ask for in a crab. In fact, that's pretty much everything I've always asked for. Well, I went into the local fish store and they had a crab for sale and they have stickers that have the temperament on it, and the sticker said, this is London Town Tropicals, the sticker said, potentially problematic. That's not what I want to put into my shrimp tank. So, you know, people are usually like careful with these shrimp and plant safe things because everyone wants to have a caveat, you know. So when someone's shrimp gets slaughtered, they're like, well, you know, I didn't tell you, but they're claiming that shrimp and plant safe and fully aquatic. So this is something that I'm looking at. It's still like hard, right? Because I guess it's not that expensive for a crab, but it's like you want to buy a bunch. And then I think Moonlight is similar to Dan's fish, where the shipping is a bit more expensive. Do scuds get along with isopods? So the scuds and isopods, technically, yes, they get along. And I have the scuds in a tank with the isopods, although the scuds were in there after the isopods were there, so the isopods were established more. I will say that I'm starting to think that scuds are just kind of not worth it, and just they're not. They have too many issues with them that, quite honestly, and I'm biased, but the isopods just don't have. Like, the isopods are plant safe, their fish egg safe, their fish fry safe, their baby shrimp safe. That's just not something that can be said for the scuds 100%, right? Like, people have varying opinions on that, and it might depend on species. It's just not something I even want to think about. So, but to answer your question, the scuds and the isopods can get along. They do occur together in nature. But I will say that if you're gonna put them together, I'd have the isopods established first, because I think the scuds, they might be able to overtake them, and I feel like they might eat baby isopods if they eat baby shrimp. And I'm kind of suspicious of a mono shrimp, and I definitely want to put them with ghost shrimp. Ghost shrimp definitely eat them. I want to put ghost shrimp with many things. I want to get ghost shrimp in general anymore, unfortunately. That ship has sailed. I feel like the panda loaches are one that I'm gonna have to do one day. Let's go to wet spot. New fish. Oh, these are isopod eaters. Discus. Okay, pygmy quarries. I can see that probably should work, right? Twig cat. Yo, this thing is sick. Looks like a kayak. Looks aerodynamic AF. Okay, we got like another royal. I'm not even gonna try and say that. Why are the photos loading like this? It's like a banner ad. That is a pretty cool fish, though. Purple coolie loach. Not quite. I'm gonna say not quite on being purple. I think that's a stretch. Ooh, a lamp-eye killifish. Oh, that's nice. Sorry, I'm a killie. Do snails get along with isopods? I had a mystery snail that killed my quarry catfish. I saw haven't. I mean, I would say your mystery snail definitely didn't kill your quarry catfish. In my opinion, it was probably either dead or dying. But I do have isopods with snails and mystery snails, and yeah, they get along with them just fine. Just fine. Whoa, dragon puffer. How is it this cheap? The hell? Yo, I'm sending this link to my friend. Sorry. I'm sending, this is a cool puffer. What's a dragon puffer? Does Aquatic Arts have them too? Is this some new, just okay, let's puffers enthusiast. That's a good site for pufferfish. Species of freshwater pufferfish belonging to the Pow genus. Previously, so it used to be part of the genre that the Congo puffers are from. In the wild, in the aquarium. Mostly wild caught, of course. Relatively shy, active in dawn and dusk. Oh my gosh, this is so much information. I have to read. That's why I like this site, though. They're really specific. What is their temperament? Okay, well, they eat fish. So that's where we stop on this one. But it's a pretty cheap puffer fish. Go back to wet spot. And then I got to get these isopods in a tank. I was thinking about live streaming making the tanks, but I just, after spilling the container and all that, like I don't think I have the heart. Like I don't want to risk that. I want to be able to take my time. Yeah, okay, we got discus, yes, okay. That's about where we were at. And these are all eating isopods. It's a cool killifish. I need to get some annuals. These are annual killifish. Not all killifish are short-lived. That's like a specific kind. They're called annuals. The rest of them, like this Aphysemium striatum, they live just like a normal fish. Ooh, strawberry licorice gourami. I love licorice gourami. I have the moon spot ones, but this looks pretty nice. Look at that. It's all in the subtle beauty for me. Like, I love the blue accents and the two lines. Like, that's beautiful. It is a soft water fish, but I have softer water, so far the moon spots have been good for me. 5-spot cichlid, no picture. All right, that's a new pay. I checked it. Why do I have 200 in my cart? What did I put in my cart? Oh, now it's saying my cart's empty. I wonder what is the most popular. I wonder. Does it have like a most lit fish? Yeah, sort by popularity. Chili rasbora. Okay, a lot of these you could keep with CPDs. You could do with the isopods. I've tried embers. You could do. I don't know about the coolie loaches. Don't know about that. I haven't had the Burmese rosy loach, but that looks cool. I've seen people talk about the gold ring danios a lot. Clown killies are good. Ooh, now this is a fish. I think this fish is so cool. The neon blue rasbora, very small fish. I just think the coloration's super cool. It's like a tiny neon tetra. But all right. That is just kind of scrolling through some fish, seeing if any are good isopod tank mates, any stand out to me. And I really appreciate anyone who stopped by, checking out the new isopod, sharing the excitement with me. If you want a list of all the places to buy aquatic isopods, I streamed the other day. There's a timestamp. I listed all the places. Twist, Jesse, thank you, Hottie. I'll call you later. Jesse, thanks for stopping by. Depressed Putu Bird, thank you for stopping by. Twist, appreciate you, bro. Greg 2, not to be confused for Greg 2. Appreciate you stopping by. Bob Bravo, appreciate you stopping by. And of course, Jorge, thank you again for stopping by. This was fun. Besides spilling the isopods I've been waiting for years. We did find out they could crawl out of water, though, so look on the bright side of things. Besides that, I feel like this was pretty fun. So thanks for stopping by. Let me know if there's anything I should hit on next time, but I thought this was a good just 1, 2, 3, get them knocked out. So I'll be doing these semi-regularly. And my verse and my tanks out.